My name is Elizabeth, and I am 27 years old. I have been married to Douglas for 2 years. We were happy until something unexpected happened. Douglas's father, Keith, passed away from a heart attack. His death was shocking to everyone. At that time, we lived far away from Douglas's family. During the funeral, Douglas's uncle said something that made me uneasy. He told Douglas that as Keith's only son, he should move back home to take care of his mother, Ashley. I knew if we moved back, things would not be easy for me. But I didn't know how hard it would be. A few months later, Douglas told me he had transferred to an office near his family home. He made this decision without asking me first. I was upset. Moving was a big decision, and we should have talked about it together. When I confronted him, he apologized but admitted he thought I would say no. He wanted to be there for his mother, but he also knew that she didn't like me much. Our relationship was never good. Still, I decided to support my husband and move with him. I had no idea how much I would regret that choice. After we moved, Ashley invited me for tea. This was surprising because she never really liked me before. I decided to go, hoping things would be better. But when I arrived, Douglas's sister, Stephanie, greeted me with a fake smile. "It's been so long. Why haven't you visited?" she asked. Before I could answer, Ashley leaned in with a strange smile. "You don't like me, do you?" she asked. Her words shocked me. No matter what I said, she would twist it against me. I suddenly realized this move was not about Douglas supporting his mother. It was about controlling me. That day, Ashley told me something unexpected. "I just want to hold a grandchild," she said. Then she told me that Stephanie's husband couldn't have children, and Catherine was also struggling. Now, she was putting all her hopes on Douglas and me. The pressure was too much. Douglas and I had talked about children, but we weren't ready yet. Ashley didn't care. She thought my only job was to give her a grandchild. I tried to explain that we needed time. She nodded, but I knew she wasn't happy. This conversation wasn't over. It was only beginning. That night, Douglas came home angry. "Mom said you told her you don't want to get along with her. She was crying," he said. I was shocked. I had never said that. I only said that our relationship was difficult because of past problems. But Ashley had twisted my words. I tried to explain, but Douglas didn't believe me completely. My heart hurt. I thought we had made some progress, but it was already falling apart. Ashley had found a way to turn Douglas against me. I was scared. If she could do this once, she could do it again. To make things better, Douglas suggested we celebrate Ashley's birthday at a restaurant. "It will be a fresh start," he promised. I wanted to believe him, so I agreed. I even made the reservation myself for 8 people, including Douglas's sisters and their husbands. But as the dinner got closer, I felt something was wrong. Douglas had been distant, not talking to me much. On the night of the dinner, my fear came true. When we arrived, the waiter told me the reservation was changed to 7. My heart sank. I turned to Douglas. His answer shocked me. "Yes, 7 is correct. Everyone is here now," Douglas said. My hands felt cold. He had changed the reservation without telling me. He didn't even plan for me to be there. Before I could say anything, he spoke again. "Mom told me you said I don't earn enough and that I'm selfish," he accused. My mouth fell open. I never said that. Ashley had lied to him again, and he believed her. I felt like my whole world was crashing down. No matter what I did, Ashley would always find a way to push me out, and Douglas let her. I couldn't take it anymore. I had moved here to be with Douglas, not to win over his mother. But it was clear, he had already picked a side, and it wasn't mine. "Maybe you should be with someone your mother actually likes," I said. Then, without thinking, I said the word divorce. Douglas's face changed. "Wait, how did we get to divorce?" he asked, looking scared. But deep down, he knew why. His mother would never accept me, and he would always take her side. I realized I was fighting a losing battle. And maybe I was done fighting. As I left the restaurant, Catherine, Douglas's sister, ran after me. "Elizabeth, wait," she said, looking nervous. I can't stay quiet anymore. Mom and Stephanie lied. I know you didn't say those things. My heart felt a little lighter. At least one person in Douglas's family believed me. Then Catherine said something strange. You should go back inside. You might see something interesting. I hesitated. I didn't want to go back, but curiosity won. I turned around and walked back inside, not knowing what I would find. Inside, chaos had started. A TV announcer, Ashley's favorite, was filming at the restaurant for a special show, and now she was questioning Ashley in front of everyone. You said Elizabeth is an outsider. What do you mean by that? Ashley's face turned pale. The whole restaurant was watching. Douglas and Stephanie looked frozen in their seats. They hadn't expected this. Finally, Ashley was the one being questioned. For once, she wasn't in control. I stood near the entrance, watching. I never expected justice to come this way, but it had, and Ashley couldn't escape it. Ashley tried to explain, but the announcer kept pushing. So, do you think daughters-in-law are not family? The restaurant guests murmured. Ashley had insulted me in private, but now her words were exposed to everyone. Douglas turned to me. Elizabeth, please don't let this go further, he begged. But I wasn't the one in trouble. Ashley was. She had spent years making me feel like an outsider. And now the world saw her true colors. I took a deep breath. This was my moment to take control. I had to decide how this would end. I stepped forward. Ashley has never called me Elizabeth. She calls me an outsider, I said in a steady voice. The restaurant fell silent. Ashley's face turned red, and she looked around, embarrassed. I turned to Douglas, my heart heavy. Since I am not part of this family, I will leave, I said firmly. Then, without looking back, I walked toward the exit. For the first time in a long time, I felt in control of my life. No more begging for love, no more trying to fit in where I wasn't wanted. I was finally ready to move on. Just as I reached the exit, my phone buzzed. It was Douglas. I ignored it, but then Catherine ran after me. Elizabeth, wait, she said, her voice urgent. You should go back inside. Confused, I hesitated. Why? I asked. Just trust me, she said with a small smile. Curiosity won. I turned around and walked back inside. The scene in front of me was shocking. The TV announcer was still filming, and now Ashley was in the spotlight. Would you like to explain why you called your daughter-in-law an outsider? The announcer asked. Ashley looked flustered, struggling for words. Ashley tried to laugh it off. Oh, it was just a joke, she said weakly. But the audience wasn't convinced. People whispered among themselves, shaking their heads. Douglas sat there, his face pale, his hands clenched into fists. He had always believed his mother, but now the truth was out in the open. I stood near the entrance, watching silently. Ashley had spent years making me feel like an outsider, and now her own words had turned against her. I saw Douglas glance at me, regret filling his eyes, but it was too late. My decision was already made. Douglas finally stood up and rushed toward me. Elizabeth, please, he said, his voice desperate. I didn't know she was lying. I didn't mean to hurt you. Let's fix this. I looked at him, my heart calm. Fix what? I asked. You let her destroy our marriage. You let her push me out. And now, you want me to stay? He had no answer. His silence told me everything I needed to know. Ashley had succeeded in breaking us apart, but Douglas had let it happen. I sighed. Goodbye, Douglas, I said softly. And this time, I meant it. I walked out of the restaurant, feeling lighter than ever. I packed my things that night and left for my parents' home. Douglas called me many times, but I didn't answer. A few weeks later, I sent him the divorce papers. He delayed signing them, but I didn't care. I had already moved on in my heart. Months later, I met someone new, a man who truly loved and respected me. We got married and started a happy life together. Now, I have a beautiful daughter, and I'm expecting my second child. Finally, I am loved, accepted, and free.